Yeah, well, Max and I were just kind of talking about this. That's something where like the balance of the three of us comes in is when I write my music, I have a hard time with the dynamics in the space. I just am very like lyric driven um and so we were listening to like Spirit Box and there's just so much space in there, but it's so important. And I think like the dynamics and the switch ups that Jim and Max have come up with the songs are so important and so cool because it kind of takes you somewhere else. Where normally the songs when I handed it to them was just, like this the whole time. But I think like Paramore has a huge influence with my songwriting. But I write all kinds of genres, so I think I just throw it all together and go with what I feel on the music that they come up with. What do you guys?
This is Rob Ruckus.
Hey, this is Kate Clover.
Hey guys, it's Nick Collins here from The Effect and Better Strangers.
Hi, my name is Madeline Rose.
Hey, it's Ben McKelvey.
It's Tim Howard here from Mike and the Mechanics.
Hello, I'm Amanda Lehman.
I'm Billy Harvey.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Casey Sampson from the band Twist Stop.
Hey, it's Tony from Fastball.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaiah Mitchell.
Hey guys, it's Matt here from the White Lakes.
You're listening to Almost Famous Magazine.
Come join us for this interview. Check it out, Almost Famous Magazine.
Welcome back to The Hang right here on Almost Famous Magazine. I'm your host, Scott Saldinger, where we hang with musicians from around the world, learning their stories, all genres, sharing their experiences. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're new here, please, you know what to do, but would really appreciate it if you do it. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Leave comments below. And also something new, you can now take us on the go, whether you're listening to your podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on just about every single streaming platform now, so you can take us with you. Today, we're diving into the soundscapes of Analog Amara, a band that thrives in the tension between fragility and force, with Amanda Hawkins, right over there.
Hi.
We got Jim Wilcox, who you may have seen before if you've been with us. And then for those of you who appreciate higher education, we have PhD Max Powers, all with us today. Their music's defined by an emotional contrast, moving seamlessly from shimmering ambient guitar layers, thank you, Max, to explosive riffs that hit with raw urgency. Analog Amara doesn't just write songs. They are creating an incredible soundscape. There are delicate moments, and there are moments that are going to rock your ears. Their evolving music never stands still, always shifting, always alive. Pulls you into a sonic landscape that you've probably never heard before, because I've been listening to their new EP, and it is amazing. So everybody, welcome to The Hang. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Scott. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. You know what we're going to kind of start with, and because Jim, this is his second time on The Hang.
I'm just going to become a regular. I'm going to install a couch at your place, and we'll just do this together all the time.
You know what? I am down for it. Amanda, I'm curious to learn about your musical journey. Did you find music, or did music find you? What's that journey been that got you to today?
Well, I grew up in a household that always had music going on. My dad's a musician and a singer-songwriter. So I wanted to sing at a very young age, started training at a very young age, and took it seriously, started a business, became a session vocalist probably in my early teens, and then just kind of took it from there. It's been a journey.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, and Max, how do you go from rocket scientist to rock guitarist? What's your story?
Let's see. My dad was a doctor too, but he played the accordion, so which is I think way harder than guitar. But it was impressive to see that. And I got a guitar somewhere in high school there, and I liked math, and heck, a lot of tabs is a lot like numbers, So fretboard scales, is they say math and music go hand in hand, so it's just kind of complemented each other.
You're right. I mean, I know a lot of engineers who play guitar and music because of that similar pattern there, right? You're looking for those patterns, whether it's in the notes or the math. So how did the three of you come together to form this new band?
You take it, Amanda?
Yeah, well, we Max and I were in a cover band called Barchord Bangers, and we played together with Record Thieves, which is a band that Jim's in. So we played with them a couple times, and I think we just clicked as friends. And then the writing, it kind of happened just organically, which was the coolest part. The writing just became easy and fun, and the album just kind of came out. So it's kind of how it went.
Record Thieves, I think I've heard of that band, Record Thieves, before somewhere.
Yes.
It was a pretty fun little
pretty
thing.
Dang good.
Because we've been friends. We've all been kind of friends through the scene. That's how I met the two of them. They were friends a lot longer than me. But Max called me one day out of the blue and was like, "Hey, Amanda's got all these like acoustic songs that she writes, like tons of them." And he's like, "I kind of want to hire you to just like help me like produce a bunch of these songs into like these big, heavy, like emo kind of rock tunes." And I was like, sure, and so through that process of doing the one song, which was Is It All, we ended up being like, wow, this was really fun. It was extremely easy. Everybody's ego was just kind of like pushed aside, and everybody just went, is this song awesome? Does it sound great? And that was the only goal, you know what I mean? So then because all that happened so simply, we were just like, maybe we should just make this like a real project. So then, Max had a couple song ideas. Amanda had some more song ideas. I had a song idea. So we just kind of like grabbed all these things and just threw them all in the pot. And that's how we actually have two more songs that are going to be released not shortly, coming out now, because now that the EP's out, we're going to be working on a couple more releases as singles, So like songs are just kind of writing themselves now, which is great.
So let's talk about that writing together, that collaboration. Kind of who's bringing what to each song, right? You mentioned that she had that Amanda had some emo esque tunes. How did you all kind of take that and then start to add your own flavor to the collaboration? What did each of you kind of bring?
Yeah, Max, that's all you, buddy.
Yeah. No, so this was kind of interesting because like we all, I think we're all really good at either starting a song or finishing a song, but it's really hard to do both. So like, I don't know if for any writer, whether that's musically or I don't know, just literally or whatnot, like doing the whole thing start to finish is incredibly hard. So we all either are like come up with great ideas ourselves, but then you get stuck in your head of like, how do I finish this out? I think it was like in the beginning, Amanda just had that Is It All tune. I heard it. It's just immediately 1,000 things went off in my head. Like I could try this, try that. And then it happened for the next one. I think it'll be our first single on our EP, the As Good As You. Like as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh, I want to have some kind of like Silver Sun pickup, super fuzzy guitar over that. And like most of that stuff came together in like a couple hours, right? Like it was just like immediately we're all like, oh, this sounds good. And between I say, Jim and I, like, when we hear an Amanda tune, we just jump on it, and like we just for some reason something goes off, the light bulb clicks, and we just run with it. And then it works the other way. Like our last song, it's like more of a shoegaze track that Jim had come up with. He's like, hey, I wrote this a couple years ago. I can't finish it. And then Amanda hears it, and it's like, melody, boom. And so like we're all like that in the sense of just either coming up with the idea or finishing each other's ideas. It's kind of just that's what makes it so easy. Like we don't seem to get stuck because we can all generate, we can all finish, and just having enough creative headroom to go around. So,
it's nice to be able to sit in a room with two. Like we just had a writing session recently where we were finishing up some stuff on these next two singles that are going to come out, and like the three of us literally just sitting here. It was crazy because it's like we all constantly said it at one point in time. We're like, this is just so easy. Like. Yeah. I have an idea. Hey, let's exercise that idea. Yeah, nope, that idea didn't really work. Let's exercise Amanda's idea. Whoop, boom, there it is. There's the idea. That one works. Let's move forward with that. And it's just no one ever goes, but, and gets all like, I want my thing. And no one cares. It's just, does it sound cool? Yes or no? Yeah. It's a black and white question,
That's been a fun thing here is Jim. I think we all push each other. Jim will push me a lot, which is good. Typically in bands where people are like, sounds good. And you're like, okay, but like, I'll do, like I did one thing. I did like probably 60 takes of different like guitar solos. He listens to me, he goes, I don't like them. You can do better.
Not it. Yeah, it's like not it.
No.
I remember that because I actually ended up taking two of his guitar solos and Frankensteining them together. And I go, hey, can you just replay it like this? And he's like, oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
We were cracking up because he's like, really? I did like 60 takes and you didn't like any of those? And I was like, well, it's not that I didn't like any of them, but Max is good about it.
But that's awesome because like you can all criticize each other like, I didn't like that lyric, I don't like that harmony, try it this way. Anything that like we say, none of us is like, well, I like it. It's never like a hill you're gonna die on. And our process, I feel, has been pretty good. That like at the end we all like come together like, yeah, it's pretty good. Trust the process. Like so it's awesome to be able to criticize, but constructively criticize someone's I say music, but we do it in such a good faith effort that it makes it so easy. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, look, you all live in Colorado. Better to push a band member or a project member creatively than pushing them off a cliff. And there are some bands who would prefer to push their members off cliffs. So I think you're onto something good there.
Well, it's actually the fun part. Max lives in Florida.
Yeah, I recently moved. I became a Florida man.
So Max and I are doing all this collaboration. Yep. We set up an iCloud folder. And we're doing all this collaboration in Logic via the internet. So he'll record stuff and send it over. And like, it just, obviously it's the 2025. So it just uploads to the project after he's done. And then I can open the project on my end and kind of listen to what he's done, make edits, save it. It uploads again. He can reopen it. You know what I mean? And that's how we get to the point where basically everything's together with a demo. And then once we're there, I'll start all over again and I'll record the like final take on the drums. And then we'll kind of build the track from there. But yeah, the EP that we just released, like we recorded a lot of that in different states. Amanda and I obviously work together on the vocals, but it's like mostly Max and I are just working over the internet because welcome to 2025. That's what's great about it.
Wow. Well, it's interesting because the technology is there to do it, but what I found interesting in the songs is they have a sense of studio. And what I mean by that is they have a feel and a texture like you're in a room together. So, that's the key, right? There's a lot of sterile music out there that sounds like it was created in a plastic box, I guess.
Right.
And then there's music that has a warmth to it, almost a feel like it's been recorded live as a group in a studio that has that studio's texture to it. And your songs are kind of, sound that way. So kudos to you for being able to do that remotely.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jim's a tone junkie. Usually it's guitarists that are tone junkies. Jim is a true tone junkie. and I'll have stuff like, I'll spend hours just going through different guitar sounds, send it to him, and it's like, nah, doesn't sound raw enough. It's flat, something's missing, and he kind of craps some. Like, go back to it.
We honed it in though. It took a little bit, especially with Is It All. We really kind of kept molding that until him and I went back and forth until at one point in time we were like, okay, there's the combination, the Rev 6 and the orange, this is the combination of guitars. This is what gets us to the finished result here, So it took some massaging,
He hates my Marshall, which we fight about. That's probably the only thing we fight about.
Yeah.
Not really a fight, but yeah.
But that's just personal preference. That's just an opinion, That's all
when they go off about this stuff, I'm always just like, I know a little bit about what you're saying, but where do you want me to sing? Just show me where to go. Where's the mic?
Guys, seriously, who cares what the damn guitar sounds like?
It's like, I know some of these words.
I love her. Getting her in the studio is so fun because Max and I will sit here. He'll fly in when we do vocals a lot of the times, and Max and I will sit here, and she'll do things 1, 2 takes, just nail it. And then she'll be like, I don't really like that. Can we redo it? And Max and I will literally just look at each other like, what?
You'll do 2 takes and usually comp them, see how it goes, and you'll do a guitar a lot. And I'll listen to Amanda's 2 or 3 takes, and I'm like, they're identical. You would have thought you just put a 10 millisecond doubler on it, and you're just like, how did you do that? It is good. It is good work with some real talent,
So Max, you fly all the way in for 20 minutes of studio time and then have to go home already?
No. We try to make the most of it. I still love Colorado. I guess I lived in Colorado for, I don't know, almost 18 years of my life total. So, I'm still a Colorado guy. So it's always fun to go back and visit. So,
yeah.
So, in listening to the songs, it's interesting to me because you're not taking hit it out of the gate and blast people in the face with rock. you've got builds and swells, and you've left space for dynamics in the songs, which, you know, in today's day and age, there's a lot of artists who, you know, it's all or nothing, right? Because you can do that, right? You can absolutely throw the kitchen sink at something. I'm curious about some of your influences that kind of drive your creative decisions, right? To give the songs that texture, right? Because we were talking about emo, like who are some emo artists that have influenced you? Who are some artists that you're like, hey, you know what? I love what they do. I'm going to figure out how to make it mine. And then the three of you come together to bring a uniqueness to it. Amanda, why don't you go first?
Yeah, well, Max and I were just kind of talking about this. That's something where like the balance of the three of us comes in is when I write my music, I have a hard time with the dynamics in the space. I just am very like lyric driven and so we were listening to like Spiritbox, and there's just so much space in there, but it's so important. And I think like the dynamics and the switch ups that Jim and Max have come up with the songs are so important and so cool, because it kind of takes you somewhere else, where normally the songs, when I handed it to them, was just, you know, like this the whole time. But I think like Paramore has a huge influence with my songwriting, but I write all kinds of genres, so I think I just throw it all together and go with what I feel on the music that they come up with. What do you guys think?
She's funny because when she sings, if you listen to Saving Grace on the album, that was the last song on the EP. That's the one that I originally wrote. Like that song was, and I love this term, but I call it collecting digital dust, because it was like I wrote this like handful of shoegaze songs. I'm like wicked into shoegaze, like super into shoegaze. And I wrote this like handful of shoegaze songs for a while, but that was like the one, like out of 6-7 songs, like that was the one that I was always like, man, this one just has something, you know? And she to her point, where she's like, I kind of just write, and she's overly vocal, and this is very normal vocals. I'm literally dealing with this right now today before I joined this podcast, talking to a friend of mine in Phoenix who I'm collaborating with, and he will not shut up on the mic. I'm like, bro, stop singing. He's like, but I gotta put this part. I'm like, no, you don't. You're literally leaving no space for music. Like you're just singing over everything. So she says that about herself, right? But my point is, when I gave her when she listened to Saving Grace, all of that she did completely naturally. And I'm like, it's funny because when Amanda's not the person with the guitar in her hand writing the chords, she actually naturally gives that space. She naturally just allows herself to do that, you know? So I want to just give her some kudos, because, you know, you're not always like that, just so you know. Like, it's just, that's a normal singer-songwriter thing, if you ask me. I think people just tend to do that, you know?
Yeah. I probably had some eclectic influences like all over the map. I think the one thing, and Jim and I talk about this at length, like what sound do we want to go for? I don't know if this is a correct term or not. You know, I always call it dynamic contrast or dynamic kind of like tone. Like I never want to stick in one area too long. Like I want to be loud. I want to be soft. I want to be angry. I want to be, you know, like fragile. I want to like do every bit of emotion, but never stick in one thing forever too long. And I think maybe one influence that I got that from was Manchester Orchestra's Everything to Nothing album. Cause damn rocks. This guy's, I mean, he's just like all out singing this. The guitars are heavy. He's just screaming his out. And then next thing you know, it is just quiet. It is just like him, just a tiny bit, like almost like reverb isolated and like an echoey share. I love the way they go from so loud to so soft and vulnerable. And I think that was probably like something that influenced me. Is like, wow, like I think it makes that change makes the impacts just so much more than to just be heavy all the time. If you're just heavy all the time, you're like, well, okay, I get it. Like, you know, you're 2 minutes in, you're like, you're heavy. You're just, you know, just double bass the whole time, you know. It's so I think it just gives it more of a amplified influence to always be changing, and it's just more interesting to listen to. So
I think for me, it would probably land on the Mars Volta. I think when Deloused in the Comatorium came out, like those guys just crawled inside my mind and exploded my brain into about 800 billion pieces. And I realized that there was so much more to music than just writing verse, chorus. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I'm not saying that I don't do that, because I do that 99% of the time. But their dynamics and the way that they get super loud and then go right down into nothing, and then 2 bars later they're extremely loud again. Like that stuff that's what grabs me, and that's why Max and I had that discussion, and why we constantly want to aim for stuff like that. We want to take you on a journey.
And I never did that before. This is kind of one thing about this collaboration I liked is I've always gotten to bands we just kind of like just started writing stuff, but like I never sat down with the singer or the drummer or anyone really and just be like, what sound are we going for? Like, how do we want to do it? How do we want to achieve our goals? So this has just been creatively, musically, it's just really rewarding to do that and be a little more thoughtful for like how we're going to approach songs intentionally, how are we going to build our sound? So yeah.
Well, I mean, my question is, what are your thoughts on that? That perspective, I think, takes a certain musical maturity to get past the throw it all into the mix and have just this bombastic kind of constant, it's all the same, it becomes, for what it's worth, noise. I think it takes a certain musical maturity to say, wait a minute, less is more, or less can be more. And if you think about, I mean, it's funny because Jim and I talked about Peter Gabriel before, right? And he was in Genesis, and as Genesis went from this collaborative of 5 down to 4 down to 3, that less is more approach took hold, and the music actually really got better, right? Because they weren't all trying to get something in there all the time for this kind of wall of sound,
like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean,
look what Peter Gabriel went off to do. You know what I mean? Like, Peter Gabriel took all of his creative stuff and just went off on his own and turned into what we know as Peter Gabriel now. He would be just another member of Genesis if he didn't turn into the Peter Gabriel that we know,
Yeah.
What now that the EP is out and you got two more songs coming, what's coming up next? What's going to happen after that? I mean, how are you? Yes, obviously more recording because Max is in Florida. But what are kind of your plans for where this is going to go?
Well, right now we've got a cover coming out. Should I spoil it or should I not spoil it?
No, let's not spoil it.
Okay.
It's good, but there's something we like to do where it's just like you wouldn't expect it, and then how we approach. Yeah, I guess we can talk about what we did, but yeah,
we took a very, very, especially since social media, very well known but old song. So let's just throw you for a loop there. Something that is extremely known, but it's also old. It's not like it's known because it's a Taylor Swift song or whatever.
I was gonna say, are you guys doing Taylor covers?
No, this is
got me interested.
Yeah, we're talking 70s.
Yeah, 70s. We'll give you the era. We'll give you the era, right? So it's the 70s. So Max and I listened to the song and we were like, we want to cover it. He brought it up as a cover, and I have a hard time with covers naturally, because especially there's so many songs out there that I just love so dearly, and I'm like, why do you try to reinvent the wheel? Like, this song is incredible. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Now, I get the perspective, whatever. So my dying on a sword, falling on a sword, like Max would say, would be, okay, I'm okay with doing this, but we have to make this our own. Like, it has to be us. We cannot just try to recreate what they did. So Max and I sat down with this particular song, and I started listening to the vocal, and the vocal's very specific. And then all of a sudden I got into this like little 6/8 swing in my head. Da 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 da. And I said to Max, I was like, yo, what if we turned this into like a 6/8 swing? And he was like, wait, what? And so him and I immediately doing what Max and I do, we jumped on that idea immediately. And it flushed itself out. It took us like 2 hours, and we had the whole thing completely done and sent it over to Amanda. And she was like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that you guys did this." So that one will be coming out here in the near future. And then we have another single which we recorded during the process of releasing the EP. We were working on another one of Amanda's songs that she had sent over. That again, like vocally, I dissected the crap out of it and turned it into something great. So that'll be coming out too.
So let me ask you this. So in today's day and age where, musicians had become content creators, have to find new ways of getting out there. And the fact that for what it's worth, buying music, which is what I believe everyone should do. You should support your artists. Do you see an opportunity for you to grow this into something that has a chance for people to see it live, performances, whether it's in Colorado or maybe you go to Florida or maybe you do a run of shows? Does it have that potential?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, go ahead.
I'm really excited to play this on stage. I mean, we both all met playing shows. That's my happy place. So I'm really excited to kind of get these out and find the people. The human connection part of it all is the best part. So I think that that'd be exciting. But yeah, I think once we get all the music out, we'll be out and about. That's for sure.
Yeah, the hard part we're going into is, like you said, the content creation. So that's kind of what I've been taking on this last couple of weeks, is just preparing a bunch of reels, videos, engagement. Like, what's that strategy going to look like? Getting the calendar. I mean, they say like, hey, you got to post something every 2 to 3 days, and it's got to have like a certain format to try to like get clicks and get into the algorithm. Maybe not my favorite thing to do, because it's like, man, I have the most fun playing music. That's what I don't have the most fun making social media posts, but I do think it's kind of an interesting little challenge to see how can we engage people into it, because I believe it. I think the music's awesome. Like, I mean, I still listen to our song. I've been listening to these songs a lot. And I really obsess about it, and I still listen to them. Like, man, I like these tunes. Like, they're just I want to play them. I want people to hear them. So trying to get people engaged into them will be a fun journey to try to grow that fan base online.
Yeah, but I would imagine a rocket science PhD could figure out how to trick the algorithm. I mean, if you're going to form a band, maybe that's the key to success these days, is you have to have someone who's smarter than the algorithm in the group.
Yeah.
He is very good at that type of stuff too. Actually, he's very good at that calculation and all that kind of stuff, and like seeing how things work. And he took on since the inception of the EP and kind of building all the content that we're now working on since the EP was released. He's been working with CapCut and doing all that like video editing, and then just like sending us stuff, and we're like, dude, this looks awesome. Like, how the heck did you do this? And he's like, oh, I just figured out CapCut. And I'm like, I love you. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
we did like a photo shoot, and then like there's something in the background. I'm like, yeah, it was like a brick, like glass translucent brick wall. It was a brick wall and then some glass translucent blocks, and I was like, I don't like these blocks. And so I went into like Stable Diffusion, was like, how do we edit that out with AI? The tools though for it, I mean, it's not like music. The tools for music blow me away, because like when I was growing up, it was 4-track recorders. If anyone knows what that is, it sounded awful. There was no chance in hell you could do something at your home studio that sounds good, like
right.
back when I was growing up. But now
let
it's
alone
like
being recording in 2 different states on the other sides of the freaking U.S. You know what I mean? Like,
impossible. And now it's like, I can take a picture that I'm not quite happy with and just replace the background in 2 seconds. It's absurd. Yeah. So
look, I got a film degree, and I was splicing Super 8mm film together, one frame at a time, back in the day, and now I can edit in Final Cut, and it's done. I have not mastered CapCut. I've got to get into that. I got to figure out how that works. The tools are definitely there, but I still think it takes, you got to figure out what's going to feed people, right? What are they going to attach themselves to? I've tried a whole bunch of things, and sometimes you're like, it's like my photography and my filmmaking. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I made this masterpiece. And people go, yeah, that's okay. And then I'm like, oh, this piece sucks. And I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah,
so you
never
know.
Right?
You really never know what's going to latch on.
You don't at all. It's crazy to me too. I get this example of I have a electronic project with a buddy of mine who I was talking to this morning. It's called Milk Parade, and it's just happy house music, whatever. Like, there's nothing to it, but it's a fun project. Him and I just like to screw around with stuff like this. He's a great singer songwriter. We wrote this song. It was called Diamonds, and we put it on SoundCloud back before you could have SoundCloud Pro and all that crap. This was 10 years ago. I have not paid attention to this song, Scott. I had not paid attention to it. He texted me like 2 weeks ago, goes, hey, have you looked at Diamonds lately? And I was like, what? And he goes, the song Diamonds that we did like 10 years ago. I was like, dude, I forgot about that. He goes, go to SoundCloud and look at it. It has 250,000 plus plays. And I was like, wait, what? And I like listened to the song, and I was like, whoa, this song sounds like garbage. But it's to your point, like you literally just don't know, like it's for some reason that song grabbed people. I don't know why. All the electronic shit I've done over the years, it's like 1 play, 2 plays, 10 plays, 5 plays, whatever. Then this song, which I thought was crap at the time, is the one that works. Why? Why?
Yeah.
So will you be dusting that one off and re-releasing it? And now that we have all these other platforms, I mean, you never know where it can take you.
So he actually said that it was going to go back in and look at that because he released it via TuneCore or whatever later on, but he was going to go back in and make sure that it was like sent to social media and all that type of stuff because back then that wasn't a thing. I mean, that's only been a thing for the last maybe 3 to 5 years. So he's going to go back in and see if there's something that he needs to do to make sure it gets out to Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of crap. But it's just to your point, it's just funny because you literally release stuff and you have no idea what's going to work and what's not, and all you can do is just hope at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It gets weird out too because I think the key is release often. And you can track, right? Analytics is like the big thing, right? So you can see like, you don't know what will catch people's attention. You can kind of go on what other people have done. But now, it's crazy. So like if you release, I don't know, like 50 reels or something, and you can see, hey, which ones are catching on TikTok. And it seems like then what people do is just, and I kind of hate this approach, is like, oh, here's a format that works. Let me just, milk it to death. But yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible the things. I mean, you have to keep trying to outthink it, and sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. And like for our channel, everything we do is organic. Like everything we do is, if you love coming in and watch the hang, you subscribe, you get you ring the bell so you get alerts, all that stuff. So it's been a slow grow, and then there are people who out and buy buy follows and stuff, and they're like, hey, I got 1,000 subscriptions already. I'm like, yeah, but how many of those are a human being who actually give a damn about what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
If you invest yourself into an artist, then you come back for more, right?
Mm-hmm.
We live in this weird world where people are like casual consumers of art, and it just blows my mind that like they don't dedicate themselves the way we used to, right? Like we used to have these experiences with music. You'd sit down, you had to go to a store. You couldn't just listen to it at home. You had to go to a store. You had to bring it home. That anticipation on the way home. Then you're like, I'm putting it on the turntable, and this is what I'm doing for the next hour.
Right.
And societally, and I think as a species, we've kind of lost some of that stuff. And now we're down to like, if we can't we can't razzle dazzle somebody in 10 seconds or less, we'll sit there and go, wait, how did we fail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part because I'm at this point. I think we all are in our career where we're just trying to make great music, and it's like the fame thing is over there, but we're just trying to like connect with the people that enjoy what we're doing, and so I think that's the tough part for me is it does have to go hand in hand. You do have to do that now, and you do have to tap into all the tools and the social media and how to reach those people, but. I think that's the main goal.
That was another thing that we discussed, Amanda, Chris, and I. We were just saying, like, hey, like when we do this, like what I want to do is just kind of like build a real fan base, like build people who really care about what we're doing. And if we get enough people interested, then let's start branching out further from that. Maybe we'll do a live stream once a month. Maybe we'll do a contest online where people can win free tickets to a show, or we'll invest more. But right now we're just trying to utilize Chris and CapCut and a PR company who we hired out of the UK. We're actually focusing all of our attention on the UK and Europe as a fan base right now. And so we're just trying to build that and build real people who like what we're doing musically. And the more we feed that, the more it'll feed us, and vice versa. We will just kind of just round robin that situation,
Well, I've got some good news for you. We are really big in the UK and Slovenia. Slovenia loves us. So we may have been covered. There's a psychobilly band called Clockwork Psycho that I just randomly found and had them on back in February, and we did really well there. So you never know who's watching.
Let's go Slovenia.
We did talk about that, like going. I would love. Now Jim's got to do this in his past. I would love to go overseas and tour, especially in areas where, like I say, heavier music is still very, very much welcome and thriving.
I mean, people don't even realize. Well, I mean, people in the U.S. It's just something that we just don't. As rock musicians, you don't realize how quickly styles come and go here, but there are bands that I have loved for decades now that are massive still in Europe. When they can't do 150 people in the States, Billy Talent, maybe they do more than that, but I'm just saying, I think that is they are like one of my favorite bands of all time. They're just so incredibly good. And you go to Germany and those guys sell out 5,000-10,000 a night. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy to me, And so that's why we wanted to focus on those markets.
Yeah. Jim, go bigger. Look, get a lot of pyrotechnics and take on Rammstein.
Yeah.
I mean, just Amanda, whatever you do, pull your hair back. That fire thing doesn't go so well with her.
Well, that will not go well with my luck. That won't go well for me.
Yeah, we could just Sinead O'Connor your ass at one point in time. As long as Chip's okay with it, we'll just shave your head.
I just might at some point here with the stress. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting, because I've photographed a number of bands overseas, and I'll give you a good example of just two different worlds. I'm a big ska, I'm Toaster shirt, a big ska fan, and I had only seen the band Madness in the States, and then I went over. They did a Clappin' Common weekend, and they were, Clappin' Common is famous in a Squeeze song. I'm like, oh, I want to go see that, and then boom, there's a concert there. And being on their home turf and seeing their diehard fans who have been with them all these years, totally different experience than seeing them in the States.
Yeah.
Totally different.
I bet.
The respective audiences there, the way they treat a performance. I mean, it's really just amazing that the cultural difference between countries and areas of the country or the world where people will behave differently and show their appreciation in a different way.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Let's talk some more ska. Ska was my first love on playing guitar.
If you're gonna do that for a second, I have to pee so bad as crazy right now. I literally went before we started this, but I'm on like a liquid cleanse thing right now.
Jim, go and we'll just talk about you.
Yeah, there you go.
Jim, go. We'll talk about you. Now they're gonna tell me how they really feel about you.
He's the worst. I'm just kidding.
So
God, he's so pushy.
While we're waiting for him, since he's done this before, I'm always fascinated by this. I'm not a bucket list kind of person. I'm just a go out and do shit kind of person. But we all have some sort of dream. And I always find it interesting that when we put stuff out in the world, you never know what could come back. We've done episodes where people have driven 3-4 hours to see an artist do an album release show in Germany. I've been in the lobby of a theater where I'm talking to someone that was on the podcast. Someone comes out, had never seen them. They were opener. And they're like, hey, I saw you on this podcast. And they're like, you're that guy. And I'm like, okay, so we're doing something right here, right? That's so what my question is, because you never know who's watching, if you had the opportunity to get in a studio for one day with one other artist to be creative, who would it be and why? Amanda, you go first.
I would say Rick Rubin, just because he has so much knowledge, and I loved his book, and I just love hearing his take on just creating and letting that flow first, and then the rest just kind of falls with it. I kind of just love that about him. And then like producer, songwriter wise, probably Ryan Tedder would be a great artist to work with. But yeah, I would say Rick Rubin is a top choice for me.
Did you ever see that video?
Jim has been on the podcast before, so he's going to choose a producer. Let's see who he chooses.
Okay. Oh, there he is.
Stop talking about him. Okay, Max.
Okay.
Who would be your? You have no idea. This is the end of the band, Jim. They have. Oh my God, it was awful. They really can't. They're like he's a slave driver. Max, who would be your dream collaboration and why?
Can I do two from two wildly different perspectives? Amanda got to say
it was supposed to be one.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be one, but Amanda broke the rules, so I'm going to give it to you. You can
Okay, so the first one from just a songwriting, musical, and just guitar melody kind of. Aaron Barrett from Real Big Fish. Okay, obviously huge influence on me. I just remember seeing him so many times. I don't know, in Lancaster, PA, where the Amish live. It's real close to where I grew up. I remember like seeing them multiple times as they came through in the 90s. And I once gave him my demo tape from high school, and he said he was going to write me back, and he never did. I was heartbroken. Okay, and truth be told, it was a terrible demo tape. It was terrible, but. Well, I mean, I wouldn't have wrote me back either. But just from as a musical influence on my guitar playing and songwriting, Aaron Barrett. From an artist perspective of just hard work and I would just be in awe. Eminem. Okay, I know that's going to be weird, but you would never think it. But the guy's work ethic and grind and just like commitment to his music. If there's any way I could, I don't know, you play just the simplest guitar, like, oh my God, I would just love to see him work in the studio for a day. Yeah, that's my two.
All right. Well, if anyone knows Eminem, I mean, come on, make the hookup. Jim, you've done this before, and last time we talked about a musician. How about someone that if you could get into a studio to be creative and produce with, who would that be and why?
Butch Vig.
Drummers sticking together.
It's actually not even that, although it is partially that. I never knew Butch as the drummer for Garbage for the longest time. Like, I remember when this was decades ago now, but when somebody told me that, I was like, wait, what? Because I knew Butch as the producer. So my diehard forever favorite band has been Smashing Pumpkins since I was a little kid. They are just kind of, I don't know, there's something about that band that just always grabbed me, you know what I mean? And I knew Butch, Nirvana, Pumpkins. I knew that side of him and was just always so amazed at the sounds he would get and especially with the Pumpkins, like the creative choices they would make in the studio and how it always felt like to me he was like everything goes, not anything goes. Everything goes. We try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to try it, And then later on, as I found out he was in Garbage, then I went back and listened to more Garbage and was like, oh, yeah, okay. But it's fun because you see somebody who just has a true love for all music. He's nerdy about music and I'm like, my favorite thing about recording is sound design. I absolutely love, like Max said, like tones, getting weird sounds. My drum set is set up with 14 microphones on it, 24/7, 365 in the room next to me right here. And I will go in there sometimes and just like in Logic, I'll put distortion plugins and all kinds of crazy crap on the drums that don't belong there. And I'll just go play the drums like that just to see what I come up with. Because I've come up with some really weird things that way. And to me, that's like, I want to see Butch's process. I want to know, like, what's your mindset like when you go into some of these projects, So, yeah, he would be my next guy.
We all kind of had like like seeing someone's process answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a thing.
That's how we learn, right? I mean, that's, you wouldn't want to waste it and just do. You want to learn from it because, that's half of growing your musicality is sharing how to do things with other people so that you can then take it and teach someone else. So
I will say this, going back to our Record Thieves conversation and how I brought up Trent Reznor, I did just see Nine Inch Nails 24 hours ago, and they had two stages set up at the arena. So there's a middle stage where they were doing like the analog electronic stuff that they do, and then the main stage. And that the portion for which they walked was about 10 feet in front of me. And he walked by, and my wife looked at me, and I looked at her, and I just felt like that Jonah Hill meme where he's like.
Now, did you throw a demo tape at him?
No, I didn't do that.
Come on, Jim.
I know. I was gonna huck a USB stick in his head.
Yeah, what do you throw now? A USB stick? I mean, like, is that a CD would be deadly,
Well, I mean, and you throw a USB stick at someone, they'd be nuts to throw it into a computer. I mean,
exactly. Like, literally, knows what's on that
forget
thing.
About a demo. You could be sending them a virus.
Exactly.
You could be sending them malware. How do you get that to people these days? I mean, even if you transport the music over the internet, there's no guarantee that you haven't embedded something in that file. We live in a weird age.
Right.
All right. So, as everyone knows who watches us and makes it to this portion of the hang, I am all about supporting art, purchasing the music. Yeah, you can walk up to, a salad bar and look at all the things available, but you got to buy the meal. And, all the links will be below. You've got to support projects like Analog Amara and others, because honestly, they can't survive without it. Art doesn't come for free. You can't go into an art store and just pull it off the wall and walk out with it. You have to pay for it. And you should do the same with your music. Maybe there'll be some merch. Maybe there'll be an opportunity to see them out playing somewhere. You buy tickets, but go out and support them. With that, we also believe that we should share our love for music and talk about what we enjoy listening to when we're not, when you're not making music, when you're out on a walk in nature or meditating or in the gym or on a road trip. So we like to kind of finish these off with a few artists that you're listening to, and really, what does it bring to you? Why do you love them? What is it about them that endears you to their music? So, I went to Amanda first last time. Max, why don't we start with you?
Yeah. So, this guy, I said oldie but a goodie's kind of come back. So I got tickets to the Kia Center to see the Deftones a few months back, and it's just blown away. I'd never seen them live before. Kind of maybe shocking, but I never see them. Yeah, I know. It was the first time seeing the Deftones.
Okay, but you got to tell them the whole thing though, because you got to tell them you text me and asked me to fly out there for what reason? What tickets exactly did you get? Tell them what tickets you got.
They were box suite tickets. Okay, I had the hookup. Okay, I know a guy. Box suite,
if you're gonna go, you might as well go all in.
Oh, yeah, I will admit, I was actually I looked at my wife and said, Max has box seats to go see Deftones in Florida, and she goes, "Did you look up flights?" That was her only answer to that question. Did you look up flights? I was like, well, it's next week. Like I can't do it that quickly.
Come on, Spirit, Frontier, you could be out for $99. That's love. That's a loving wife right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny. I go to the show and I was like, man, so the Deftones really fill out a Kia Center? Like Kia Center? Like really? Oh my God. One, packed. Absolutely packed. And then the other thing that surprised me, it was the most goth teenagers I've seen since, The Matrix in my trench coat days. I was like, oh my God, where have I traveled back in time? This is amazing. But they crushed it. They absolutely crushed it. And I'm a dork. I'm a nerd. Like it, when you play music, it's sometimes hard to go see music because you want to analyze everything. Like I'm watching the guitarist, like how's he going to do the layered guitar? And then what I saw was like, oh, they have another guitarist who kind of sneaks out for certain parts and kind of sneaks away. And but I'm just they just hit every note perfectly. They sounded perfect. And I've gone back to dive back into their albums, and I love it. I think it holds up so incredibly well. And when I think of like how I want our stuff to sound. Yeah, I like it because, I'm going a long answer. Some people like when I listen to their guitar or their bass, like especially older recordings of bass, like they scoop off at high frequencies or low frequencies sometimes, and the bass just sounds kind of like plucky. I don't know. It's not good. I listen to the Deftones sound, and like their drums are full. Their guitars are so full of energy. Their bass is just right. And then in his voice, super quiet. So everything about how they mix and sound, just to me, it still holds up. It's like, man, this is a template to follow. And so I'm still trying to learn as much as I can. I keep going like this, switching time signatures up, being in odd keys, like everything about it. I'm just like, God, this is just rich, good music. So yeah, Deftones right now. Yeah,
nice,
love that.
The short answer.
Yeah, the
Amanda.
Short long.
Amanda, how about you?
Right now I'm trying to think. I've been listening to Winona Fighter. They're a new band. They're really good. I love them.
Were they at the Warped Tour?
They weren't, but I saw them in Denver when they came. But now I'm sure the next time I see them, they'll be double size the venue. They're
coming to the Orlando one, so that's why I brought it up. I saw them on that.
Cool. Yeah, no, they're great. And I went to Warped Tour. There's so many new bands. Like, I don't know, I'm listening to all the genres too. Ella Langley, she's a country singer. She's a great songwriter. Like John Summit, that's in the EDM world. I mean, there's a ton of local artists here in Denver. There's, DNA. He's like changing the game here, like in the R&B industry. I'm trying to think of who else is here. I love Caitlin Williams. She's a singer that's here now, based in San Francisco. She's incredible. Go check her out. I'm trying to think of Record Thieves. They're amazing. Go check them out.
Are they amazing? I mean, there's a lot of egos in that band. Those guys,
You
that's
know,
one of those where they're
they're
going to push
great.
each other off a cliff.
They're nice to me. I'll say they're nice to me. Yasi,
Cool.
she's also a local artist, but now in LA.
Oh, yeah.
She's amazing. So,
Scott, I don't think we put that together yet. Amanda is this vocalist on For the Best on the Record Thieves new album.
Ah.
Yes.
So we did a collaboration with her
That's
on
fun.
the Record Thieves album. And so, yeah, I just dawned on me. I was like, I don't think we mentioned that. So, yeah, if you are listening to this and you have picked up the Record Thieves album, or you heard the Record Thieves album at this point in time, and there's Amanda Hawkins on a song called For the Best, and this is that Amanda. So she is also the singer of Analog Amara.
That was a lot of fun.
She must have been busy like Alan that day.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun doing that.
So Jim, let's get a couple. I know the last time we talked, you had some, and then we kind of riffed on some. Anybody new that you're listening to that you're into besides like Record Thieves?
Yeah, it's funny because it's not actually anything new, although I've been trying to find newer stuff in said genre. But I've been listening. My sister-in-law and I have a project I've been calling Low Light Society, and it's like a trip hop kind of stuff. So I have been diving back into a lot of the 90s trip hop that I love, from Morcheeba, Portishead, Sneaker Pimps, Massive Attack, all those bands. Massive Attack actually put out a record in 2005, and it is incredible, by the way. I heard it yesterday for the first time. I didn't know that they had released a record in 2005. But that's kind of like where my headspace has been lately. I've just been really kind of diving into a lot of my hip hop background from when I was growing up, and then my love for trip hop, and that just kind of weird, vibey, spacey, just you never really know which direction this is gonna go. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, my sister-in-law's way into that kind of shit, Bjork, all that kind of stuff. So we've been kind of playing around with some new concepts, and so that's what I've been listening to regularly for the last few days.
Nice. From someone who lives in Denver, I've been listening to the new Andy Frasco album. I believe Andy lives in Denver. And that song "Try Not to Die," I mean, take all, let's see, what's the line go? Take all the pills, pay all your bills, try not to die. And for this day and age that we're living in, I think he nailed it. So like that one, and I'm super excited because the Implosions, not the Implosions, I'm sorry, which are a great band out of Vegas. I love them, but the Interrupters, begins with an I. The Interrupters just announced that they're going back in the studio, and I saw them at Punk Rock Bowling, and I'm obsessed with them now. So
yeah,
I'm really loving them. Oh my God!
Is it Andy Frasco, or is it Andy Frasco and the UN?
Same guy.
Oh,
same guy. Sometimes it's the UN, sometimes it's not. And I guess he's like been circulating his band members lately, so every new show's been new and unique. But my God, you go out on the internet and I don't know about Record Thieves, but at their shows, but I highly doubt that like the entire audience is dancing the horror when you guys are playing Hava Nagila like at an Andy Frasco show. and trust me, it takes. You want to talk about risk taking? You do that in the Deep South, and you pull it off without anybody getting hurt. That's a miracle.
Well,
regardless of what
that's our goal now. Analog Amara's new goal is to play Hava Nagila in the Deep South and get away with it.
Yeah. That is risk taking at its finest. So, hey everybody, I appreciate this. I'm looking forward to more music. I'm really looking forward to whatever this cover is going to be. So everybody, please, all the links will be below. Go follow them on social media. Buy the new EP. Get excited for new music coming out. And thank you all for hanging with me today, and everybody who hung with us or whatever tense you want to use for the last almost an hour. These things go on because we just have a good time with it. So I hope you all had fun today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, everybody. That's it for now. Come back next week. There'll be another, and be good to one another. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.